So there's a lot of advantages to being a quant, right? One of the biggest ones, and one thing we do over at Stats Edge Trading all the time, is we know at the end of every week what we're going to trade next week. We know at the end of every day what we're going to trade tomorrow. So the actual art of trading becomes way easier, where we're, kind of hunting and pecking. Doesn't mean that we're done. We always want to build new and better strategies so I can trade them and trade them with my own money and make more money, and so that I can give those to you guys. Again, if you go to statsedgetrading.com, you get access to all the strategies that I'm currently running. One thing I do with that extra time as a giant nerd is I read studies. And I saw one that was kind of cool, and I wanted to talk about and maybe make this a series about how potentially this could be something that I could either add to existing strategies. That would be very interesting, or create a new strategy from entirely and just kind of go through the whole process of strategy building. So step one is, I read this study. I found this on Substack. Someone was talking about, hey, this is a cool study that somebody did. The study name is right here, right? Moving average distance as predictor of equity returns. So you can see it all there. You can look it up, which I highly suggest, and read it for yourself. But the idea was, if you took two moving averages, in this case, a 20 period and 200 period moving average, and you compared the distance between those, then what would happen is, over time, if you invested in the ones that had that wider distance, then you made money. And if they had a more narrow distance, then you didn't make as much. So by doing that, you can get a kind of good understanding that there's some alpha in this. So let's go to this chart and let's actually just add this entirely and just talk about go over what we're talking about. Just add a simple moving average, and just add in two simple moving averages, and we're going to make one of them a 20 period, and we'll make this one super thick, and we'll make it pink just to make it easier. We'll make this a 20 period, 21, sorry, they used. And then this other one, we're going to make it 200, and we'll leave that the color it is. So the idea here and the test here was, okay, what if we just periodically rolled our portfolio into the ones that this spread here was the widest? Well, so I'm not just going to trust some random study I found online. I'm going to start doing the work and the testing myself. And this is what I do, and this is what people essentially pay me for over at Stats Edge, is to do this kind of testing. So I was able to go through and test, and I was able to build this equity curve, which isn't something I'd trade myself, but it does show that, again, investing in the top 5, I picked the top 5 names across the entire equity universe, ranked by this particular moving average setup, makes some money. Right. So one thing I will do in the link in the description below is just give some names that these moving averages are done. You can go to statsedgetrading.com. If you sign up for the free email list, the email that is accompanying this video will have access to this Google Doc. So you can just sign up there if you click free newsletter and just put in your email here. Also, I have launched some courses that were paywalled. They are now free, an intro to trading course and a course how to build your own trading plan. And you can click on those. And again, you just sign up, enter your email address in there as well. So check those out. And you can obviously see everything that we do here, access to all of the detailed statistics of all of the strategies I run. And you can see why I wouldn't run those, right? Because the strategies we're currently run do better over time. However, when you're doing something like this, you're always having to go back and saying, what is this study telling me? Why would the distance between a 21 period and a 200 period moving average makes that big of a deal? Well, because it's showing not only just a big spike, it's showing a sustained move. So this is one of those that it's from this list. You can see right here, the top one, Tron here, in which this gap is pretty wide between the 200-day moving average and the 21-day moving average. So the idea is that by doing this, you're kind of getting stocks that spike and come and crash back down. Because if it spikes and crashes back down, the 20-period moving average, which is a lagging moving average of the last 20, 21 days, it's not going to move. Because if you spike up for 3 or 4 days and then you spike back down, it's not going to move that much. For it to widen, it has to move for a longer period of time. And again, that makes sense on paper and also makes sense when we're back testing this particular strategy. So the fact that I wouldn't trade this on my own, does that mean I abandon it entirely and I just walk away and say, oh, this strategy is bad, I'm not interested? No, it showed some edge. There is some edge in this. Although it may not be a strategy in and of itself, if I was a discretionary trader, it may be enough for me to say, you know what, I'm just going to build a scan and I'm just going to scan throughout the day anything that has that wide moving average on it. And I will trade those things. Or it might be something where you go, okay, if I'm a systematic trader, which I am, that is maybe the beginning part of a strategy. And then I start saying, okay, well, what if I buy new 52-week high breakouts on stocks that already have that wide moving average criteria? What if I take a current strategy that I'm currently running, one that I'm using relative strength to invest in the stuff that I think is the strongest out there, but I apply it only to names that have this wide moving average? You can see how reading a study, doing the test yourself, doesn't necessarily mean that you completely change what you're doing and you start trading that style. But if you're able to test it and you're able to verify its results, you can go back and you can say, yeah, this is something that might be a little bit interesting. Let me walk down this road just a little bit more. And I think if you guys want, right, hit the like and comment and subscribe and all those kind of things, that might be something I do. I may either take a current existing strategy and show the before and after applying this filter. I may build a strategy with this filter and see if there's something that I can find edge to. There's a lot of ways to go about doing it, but I mainly wanted to show, what do we do? I don't sit around all day, even though, I only have to take a trade when the Discord bot tells me to take a trade. Do certain things, right? And we're in the summer where there's not a lot going on. Even in this crazy market, there seems to be less going on. Take any downtime you have. Don't fill it with more trading. Fill it with more learning, more testing, more studying, and then see what road that can take you down. Maybe it's a great way to improve results. Again, if you're interested in more of this content, make sure you're following or subscribing wherever you find it. Go to statsedgetrading.com, sign up for any of the free email lists. Give Stats Edge Pro a try if you're interested in that as well. And until I talk to you guys next time, get away from the screens.